one of the famous stories that we hear in the southern part of the country is the marriage of Bhagwan Shiva and Parvati. And it comes with an interesting story of how Bhagwan Shiva actually burned Kamdeva into ashes. So, what is the significance of the story, and what is the significance of the story in respect to Holi?
Okay, so as the Puranic story goes, Lord Shiva was in deep meditation, and he was in no mood to get married and become a grahastha. But in order to kill Tarkasura the demon, he would have to get married to Parvati Devi, who in her previous janma was Sati Devi. We all know how during Daksha Yagna, Sati Devi, had left her body, and how the Shakti Peeths emerged. So now what happened later on is Sati Devi was reincarnated as Parvati Devi, as the daughter of Himavant, and she was a princess, and then she had done severe austerities, and her only wish was to marry Shivji. So when Devi Parvati was doing immense penance, Lord Shiva was, in his own, doing his own meditation. And then what happens is Kamadev, who is supposed to be the Lord of love and compassion, as you can say, or maybe even some would also say love and lust, he actually, intervenes and tries to help out Parvati Devi, and shoots an arrow at Shivji, and then Shivji is supposed to have burnt him with this third eye. Now Kamdev's wife Rati Devi is devastated that Kamdev has been burnt to ashes, and Rati Devi requests Lord Shiva to at least revive him, so that at least she's able to see him in the Sukshma Sharira, if not his Sthula Sharira, if not his physical body, at least she should be able to see him in his in his auric form. At least he should be visible to her. So Lord Shiva accepts this plea of the devastated Rati Devi, the wife, and agrees and revives Kamadeva. So this is the basic story that we have in the Puranas. And Holi, if you have a look at the esoteric meaning of it, it means that we need to burn out all desires and lust, and it also signifies new beginnings where there is purity and pure love. So there's a big difference between lusting over somebody and loving somebody, right? So the Dahan of Kamadeva signifies burning away all our desires and lust and everything, and transforming ourselves. So so how he turns to ashes and then transforms into his the Sukshma Sharira, it also signifies that for human beings. So burn away all our desires and transform into better human beings is what the story goes. There's another story from down south, from Tamil Nadu, where they also celebrate. So on this Vasant Purnima or the Falguna Purnima, the wedding of Sundareshwara also takes place. The form of Lord Shiva and Parvati down in the south. Meenakshi Devi is Parvati Devi. They call her Meenakshi, and Sundareshwara, that is Lord Shiva. So the Kalyanam also takes place over here. So this is one story of Lord Shiva, and once Lord Shiva gets married to Parvati Devi, that is when Lord Kartikeya is born, and he's the one who does the samhara of the demon Tarkasura. This is one story, and there is another story which is quite popular up north as well, if I may continue, Ratnadeepji, is of from the Krita Yuga or the Satya Yuga of Holika. So there's a lot of controversy regarding this Holika Dahan as well. A lot of the commies claim that Holika was a Bahujan lady, and as Hindus we burn a Dalit woman and a Bahujan woman like Holika on Holi and celebrate, which is absolutely wrong. But if you actually go back and have a look at our Puranas, the story of Holika is from the time of Prahalada, the absolute devotee of Lord Vishnu. So his father, Prahalada's father, we are aware, was Hiranyakashyap. Hiranyakashyap tries his best to kill Prahalada because Prahalada refuses to worship him and instead is a huge, great, devout, worshipper of Lord Vishnu. And then we know about the avatar of Narasimha. But in between this, in the process of trying to kill Prahalada, Hiranyakashyap requests his sister Holika. So Holika is supposed to be the sister of Hiranyakashyap, and she had a boon that she would not ever be destroyed by fire or Agni. She was immune to Agni. So Prahalada's father Hiranyakashyap requests Holika to sit with the child Prahalada in her lap and burn him to ashes. Now, what happens miraculously? Prahalada is saved by Lord Vishnu, and he comes unscathed from the Agni, from the fire that is lit. But Holika gets burnt to ashes. This is the basic story which is mentioned in our Puranas. Now, let us refute this thing about her being a Bahujan or a Dalit, as they claim in different universities, JNU, Jadavpur, wherever they claim. Now, who was Hiranyakashyap? Hiranyakashyap was the son of Rishi Kashyap and Diti Devi, right? He was an Asura. He was born to Rishi Kashyap and Diti Devi. Now, Rishi Kashyap is one of the 7 Saptarishis in our Puranas and in our Itihasa. We recognize him as a Rishi, and his wife Diti. Now, how is a sister of Hiranyakashyap, who is also a Rakshasi herself, how is she a Bahujan or a Dalit? It's the same thing like Ravan, who is supposed to be, from the great Pulastya Rishi's lineage, is called a Dalit, and some self-proclaimed Dalit leaders also call themselves Ravan nowadays. That's not the case. So Holika is the sister of Hiranyakashyap, and she is the one who gets immolated in the fire or in Agni. And that is why what we do even in the north and down south is they light these bonfires, huge bonfires, to signify the burning away of our desires and lust and emerging as your purer self. So these are some of the stories. And there's one story from the Dwapar Yuga, if I may continue, of Lord Krishna, and then I will request Ankita ji to enlighten us more about Lord Krishna. So this is the Holika Dahan. We also have the Dolki. So there's one more story from our Itihasa that Sri Krishna, when he was a baby, he was first put into the cradle on this day of Purnima. Vasanta Purnima, and that was also the day that he did the samhara, or he destroyed the demoness or the ogress Putana. So this is one more story. So she comes on the behest of Kansa, Putana, and tries to kill baby Krishna, but baby Krishna instead kills her, or rather releases her of the papa of being an ogress, and then she attains moksha. So that is one story.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.